everybody. Welcome to How to Gardening in Horticulture here at New York Botanical Garden. And today I want to talk to you about potting up plants, all kinds of different plants, different ways of doing it for different reasons. So right here we have a very large container. It's a beautiful terracotta pot. They're going to go out to the front of our museum building for the summer vacation. But inside it we have these two large palms which we're just in the process of finishing planting. And if you want to repot your plants or pot them on to a bigger size or put something out temporarily for a display, you generally want to take them out of their containers. Try not to destroy the container, but if you have to, the plant is usually worth more than the container. So get it out of the container. You'll then want to loosen the root balls up a little. We don't want them circling around the pot or inside the pot where they were around the soil. They will tend to continue to grow just like that, even if they've been potted on or into a container. So basically get them out. If there's anything that's really going around, cut it off. Otherwise, loosen them up and loosen the bottom as well. And then you're going to place them in your container. You want to pay attention to the height so that you will have a bit of a lip on the pot. That's so you can water. So the top of your root ball, or where your soil should be, should give you a little bit of that watering lip. So that's where we have these, and we put two in together to make this a bigger statement in this giant pot. And now what we're getting ready to do is start filling in around it. Just to backtrack, if this were a little house plant, it would be the exact same process. You just wouldn't have this big pot. You could do that and keep it inside. You could do that, put it outside for the summer. Or you could do it and put it into a container and make it more of a seasonal splash. All of these things work. It all depends on what you're doing and why, from the smallest to the biggest, the technique, so to say. The soil is very important. So this is a mix. It has some soil in it, true soil. It has some compost in it, which is good organic matter. It has a little perlite. It has some fertilizer, some organic fertilizer that we use. So this is a nice mix. It's going to hold moisture, hold nutrients, but it's also going to drain well. So this is the soil. As I continue to pot them in, to plant them in and pot them up and put the soil around them, I'm going to keep adding the soil in. So what I want to do is start with the biggest containers or the containers that I'm going to plant closest to the palms, and I'm going to work my way out in the container. So I usually, if I'm mixing a lot of plants up, try and lay them out a bit so you know how it's going to look and where you want them to go, because otherwise then you realize, oh, I would have put that in there, but it doesn't fit. So you want to have an idea of what you're doing, and then you can start to make your plan happen. So we're going to start with this hibiscus back here, and I can take out the label. And grooming your plants is also very important. So when you have yellow leaves or dead leaves or anything that doesn't look good, you want to clean them up. And then you can see there's a lot of roots on the bottom here. That's a little bit of root pruning. Just like I said before, you want to loosen the roots up before you put it in. So that's one way of getting rid of that stuff. And then if you just hold on to the pot, don't ever pull a plant up by its stem. Don't yank it out of the pot. That's not good for it. You could actually kill the plant if it's a soft enough stem. But give it a little, hold on to it and give it a little tap, and most of the time they'll come right out. So nice healthy root system. If I can start to just massage it with my fingers and loosen that up, I'll do that first. So we just want to get that loosened up so it starts to root into its new home. And now our root's ready. Now we want to look at the plant and see what is its best face. Sometimes a plant has one side that looks good and one side that looks more like the back. So to me, this is very flat. I'm going to face that to the back and have this side, which is nice and full, face out. So I'm going to set that there for a minute, and I can scoop some soil right into there. I'm just going to push that out of my way so I can find my little plant again. And I'm going to make sure that I have that under it. And I'm going to keep that soil line so I have a watering lip and the soil line here. Just going to press it down a little. I want to make sure there's good contact with the root ball and the soil beneath it. Right, and I actually want to move it over, scooch it over there a tiny bit more. fill that little space. And now I want to put some of this soil around it. Take my fingers this way and just firm right around the root ball. You don't want to pack it like this. You don't want to make the soil so hard that you've almost made it like a concrete. You just want to firm it. You need to firm it so that you get rid of air pockets, so that there's soil in contact with the root ball, so when it's watered, it gets water and not sitting in a pocket of air. And you also want to, especially when they're tall and big like this, you want to firm them in good so they don't fall over until they start rooting in. So here we have that, and you can start to see how we're filling in. We're filling in this way, and we're also using our tall plants in the back. I'm going to keep working on these, and if you get a chance, you can come to the garden and visit them, and you'll see them all completed. Just remember when you are done to water them in. That's really important. And always check on them. Check daily for watering, but also remove yellow leaves, dead leaves. Again, look for insects or diseases. If there's any weeds growing in your pot, make sure you pull them. You want to maintain them, you want to take care of them, you want to be keeping your eye on them. And so come back and see when it's all finished.